Commission meeting for December 19th. And I guess we start with roll call.
Commissioner Rossi? Here. I have Commissioner Tao absent. Commissioner Zilich?
Here.
Commissioner Smith absent. Commissioner Jensen?
Here.
Vice Chair Natalie Sheard?
Here.
And I note Chairperson Wyatt Jenkins absent.
Okay, now we can do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then do we have any public communication on non-agenda items?
I have received none.
Okay, so then we move to the consent calendar, and we're gonna approve some really old minutes. Did everyone get to read those?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I will second the motion.
Let's see if voting works, if the tech works. Motion passed unanimously.
Okay. So now we're going right into item 2.
Yes. Would you please put up my PowerPoint, Madam Clerk? Good evening, Madam Vice Chair. Thank you all for being here tonight and other commissioners. We are going to talk about the RV park, Orville RV Park coming in at the corner of Nelson and 6th Avenue, adjacent to the State Route 70 freeway. It is a 4 separate parcels, a little over 21 acres. The applicant is proposing 127 different RV sites. It is a luxury RV resort. And so besides having the RV sites, there's also a lot of amenities. There's a clubhouse, a banquet hall. They have a pool, spas. There's pickleball courts, bocce ball courts. There's even a little putting green on there. There's also at the Welcome Center, they're going to have a supply store for the residents if they need to fill up on anything. It's a real nice development, a quality establishment, and Mr. Wes Irving has been working with the applicant for quite a while to get this project up and running. Go ahead and go to the next. Thank you. So here is just this is a rendering of what some of the sites. So there's going to be standard sites, and then there's going to be luxury sites. The luxury sites are a little bit wider than the standard sites to make room for pop-outs. They will also, all the sites will have concrete slabs for picnic tables. This is an elevation of the Welcome Center. So this will be the first building that the visitors, the guests will go to. They can register here, but this is also where the store will be so that when you're inside the park, if you need something, you can come in here and supply up. And this is an elevation of the clubhouse banquet hall that will be where most of the amenities are situated. We have some more renderings here. So this is where the same. So this is the backside of that Welcome Center. I'm sorry, the banquet hall. And so this is the back of it where the pools and the spas will be. There will be picnic tables out there. And then here is the pickleball and bocce ball and putting green side of the other side of the clubhouse. So as we move forward, there's a couple conditions of approval that I wanted to talk to, have a dialogue with you guys about. The first one is the mitigated neg deck. So a mitigated negative declaration was submitted for this project. It is included in the the application packet.
It's long.
It is very long. It is very in-depth. The applicant actually did a really nice study, and they ended up having to move some of their stuff on their site around. There was some wetlands that were found, and so some of the parking spots and the configurations had to be moved around, and so they did that. The mitigated neg deck was circulated to the tribes. We did receive a initial request from one of the tribes for consultation, and that ultimately was not responded to. And so we gave them 30 days. They did not respond, and so we moved forward with the CEQA noticing and the posting. And that same tribe was also notified when it was posted with CEQA, with the state. And then, so the actual period, just the way the timing worked out, that period ends tomorrow, the 30-day notification. Neither the staff nor the applicant, nor the city, none of us have received any comments, and so we don't anticipate anything coming in the next 24 hours. However, just in case, because we didn't want to make them wait till January, we are asking as a condition of approval, it is project-specific condition number 1, that we go ahead and preemptively approve it tonight with the caveat that if by tomorrow something comes in, we might pause it, we might not, but we don't anticipate anything coming in tomorrow. So that is the first condition of approval that is on in the staff report. The next one, condition of approval number 4 right there, this is just to bring to yours attention. The RV park would like to sell alcoholic beverages both at the supply store for people to consume within the park, at their RV site, and then also at the banquet hall, if they're serving alcohol there. And so next month, the use permit for that will be coming before you guys. So that's just to keep that in mind. And then we do have a new proposed condition. It would be project-specific number 5. It was not in your packet. This came after the packet was submitted. It will be to prohibit manufactured homes and mobile homes from staying within the park. The park is offering some long-term spaces for long-term rentals. And so both the staff and the applicant have agreed to this condition. They are fine with that. They are trying to limit that as well. And so we would like to add that to the resolution as project-specific condition number 5, which would then reorder the general conditions underneath. And so the resolution that you have doesn't include that, but the resolution, if approved today, would include that. And that is the identical wording within that resolution. So with that, the staff is recommending a couple motions. The first is that we conduct a public hearing, that the commissioners adopt the MND as the appropriate level of environmental review with understanding of project condition number 1, and that the use permit then itself is approved and the resolution is adopted. That is my report, but I am here to answer any questions, and the applicant's representative is available on Zoom also to answer any questions.
Okay. Does anyone have questions for the applicant and for Wes and for? I mean, I do, but I don't know if I'm allowed to go if I'm the chair.
Feel free.
Well, I have a question. What is the maximum number of days someone can stay
That's one of them.
combined? Is it 29 days, 30 days?
I do not know the answer to that question.
They have 41 long-term
Yeah.
spaces.
Define long-term.
I can answer that.
This would be Sarah Crosby.
And this is Sarah Crosley. I'm with Melton Design Group. We're the planning firm working for the applicant. So I believe, I don't have the text in front of me, but I want to say it's a 30-day maximum for the long-term sites.
Oh, okay. And then the other question, another question I had is, do you pay transient tax? Is this, because this is short-term, is this similar to a hotel or an Airbnb where transient tax is collected? I just couldn't find that with the campground.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have an answer for that one offhand.
And is it gated? It looks like I saw what I think are gates in the front and the back.
Correct. The site is fully enclosed with a steel picket, I believe 8-foot high steel picket fence with gates at the front, which would be key code operated. There's a gate to the west, which is just for emergency exit only. And then there is also a vehicular gate to the north that is for emergency exit only for vehicular. And then there would be a pedestrian gate with a fob entry for the guests.
Yeah, you can.
So, Sarah, if I may interrupt really fast, this is Christina. The plans that were submitted for the last final plans, October 3rd submittal, they state that the fence will be 6 feet high.
Oh, sorry, correct. Yes, that it'll be 6 feet high.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that. Thank you.
Yep.
And then is there I know because you're calling it a luxury RV park, so luxury can mean many things. And I was kind of looking up standards for that. Will you have a certain age of RV that is allowed to be in the park?
Yes, it will be controlled what year of RVs in the park.
It'll be controlled as to it has to be in good repair and nice condition. I mean, of course, my fear is
Yeah.
that I don't want this to turn into a camping place with tarps and old RVs with people who don't leave, which I know is not your goal. So I just was wondering, and
Yeah.
I've heard other places will actually tell you it can't be beyond 10 years old. And I even know somebody who had to have theirs inspected before they could actually stay at a nicer RV park.
Yeah, that will be the case here.
Okay.
It'll have a similar requirement.
That's wonderful. And can you tell me the rates, the nightly rates?
You know, I don't have his nightly rates. I did not discuss that with the client, but I can get that information to you.
And has he done this before?
He has not.
He
Not
has?
an RV park. He has done development type work, but not an RV park.
RV park, okay.
To tentatively answer your question about whether TOT tax will be charged, I'm not finding it for Oroville, but in Butte County, the overnight stays are taxed 6%.
Okay.
For bed and breakfast, motels, campsites, RV parks, and short-term rental homes, all of the above. So
Okay.
my guess is that they will be collecting TOT tax in this facility.
Yeah.
We didn't have that specifically in our city ordinance, or
I haven't found that yet, still looking.
I just something I just assumed, so, yeah.
Well, I mean, we have it for the old McGuire suites and different things, right? For the tenancy or the short term. So this would
Every
qualify for that,
hotel.
correct?
That's what I was wondering.
And then you've got 9 permanent trailers or cabins.
Yeah, correct. There is 9 proposed Airstream trailers that would be rental. So it wouldn't be like a long-term living. It would just be a vacation rental, similar to, what the standard would be for the RVs. So those are just permanent on site as a experience rental.
Okay.
I did also want to mention, the applicant had also done a market research study for the park. I believe, Wes, in our pre-app stuff, we submitted that with the submittal.
Okay. We can dig that up.
I mean, I love the idea, and I think it's a great location. And I think it would be wonderful as long as everything that you're telling us happens just like that. If the standards are kept up, which it sounds like they will be, and it's gated and it's protected, and it becomes a wonderful place to camp. Because I've always said, we don't have anywhere for people to come and camp around here. So I think it seems wonderful.
And I did want to mention that the applicant's intention here is gated to, or geared towards families. So, we have some wonderful RV parks, but they're at casinos. And then the location of this one, as you mentioned, it's a great location. You're close to the Forebay.
Yep.
You're, on your way up to Table Mountain, close to the restaurants and shopping. Just hop on the freeway, go downtown.
Yep.
So that's really the intention he was going for, is having it kind of central, close to nature, close to the town. Lots of amenities in here. You can be by the pool. The pool's planned to have a lazy corner, we call it, where it's not a whole lazy river, but it's a fun element. Some like a family hot tub, an adult only area. He was doing a lot of research, just seeing, we want families here. We want older retired people here who maybe don't want to be in the family hot tub and want their own space. So just looking at having amenities for everyone, all ages. We're really aware that the RVing community do a lot of events together as well. So the banquet room, they can get 100 people or so or more at those RV events. So looking at having another event space, because we know our area doesn't have too many of those options as well. So it's mainly just looking at the guests that would hold events here. Not so much open to the public, but for the people staying here, there would be a nice event space, clubhouse, gym, pickleball, little putt-putt golf, access to the park, play structure, playground, fire pits, that kind of thing, with the general store, maintenance yard on site. Landscaping is really important to the client. Just having it a nice lush landscaping as you're on the freeway looking down and up at it, depending where you're at on Highway 70 there. So just a really nice lush, as he's calling it, luxury RV park.
And then the curb gutter and sidewalk on Nelson will be wonderful.
Yes.
And then I also read, and I just want to confirm, there's going to be an on-site manager and an average of 8 employees on-site?
Yep. Yeah, correct. There will be an on-site manager that lives above that general store at the front. It'll be upstairs apartment. Yep, right there. And then depending on what they're doing, there'll be like 3 to 8 employees. And then the 8 employees include, there'll be a full-time staff taking care of the grounds. So really well-maintained site, a lot of natives. We've talked about maybe doing how we want to do the screening between the RV sites, because a lot of times it's just turf and concrete, but he wanted to do something a little more special. So we're playing with the idea of maybe some jasmine vines on a nice steel trellis, or just some nice vegetative screening between them so we have more private areas. And then when you want to be more public, you can go to a fire pit or clubhouse, or go to maybe a group campsite. So where you can face your RVs towards each other and have more of a big open area with just grass in between. So lots of options. The end capped RV sites would be the luxury pods. So, or luxury sites where you have a built-in gas fire pit and just a nicer little concrete area for your picnic table. So different options for what people will want.
So I would caution you on any type of flowering vine, simply because you don't want to be fighting the bees right next to your campsite while you're camping. But
True.
my question is more concerned with security. Out of the 8 employees that are out there and such, will you have a night watchman also walking the grounds, or what's your camera system like? What are your security measures basically overall on the site?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in addition to it being fully fenced, there'd be the on-site manager who's there, all the time. I haven't talked with the client about like a night watch or what they're thinking about for a night surveillance, but there will be light poles that are motion sensor activated for security. So with the motion sensor lights, someone on site, I haven't talked to him about someone walking the site, but with talking with him, security is important to this project. It's especially when you're looking at luxury and higher end type of a project.
And that's where my concern comes in. When you first said 8-foot fences, I was pretty happy to hear 8 foot. A 6-foot fence is not as hard to, obviously, to scale and climb over with a blanket and a quick little ladder. So I would be worried, especially about the camping sites to the far north, where they're a long ways. I understand he's on the second floor, and that's awesome because he's gonna have line of sight. He'll be able to see over a lot of things. But all the way in that very north corner, especially with the gate and such down there, I just worry that without some kind of active monitoring system down there, that there could be a problem, that's all.
Understood. Yeah, and it's 6 or 8, we could do a 8-foot fence and it's with steel picket. Those are harder to climb. We could do a, just pointy picket that goes over the top. So it's, makes it so you can't climb it at all. So yeah, we can, look at doing that, especially like you said, at the north side. Maybe it's not really, an issue along 70 there, or maybe along the back of the school, because those are all, it's private there anyway. But yeah, we can look at adjusting that if needed.
You also have the option to make it a condition of approval if you wanted to.
I looked on our website, they would be collecting TOT per our code.
Oh, okay. Great.
Do they plan on developing the whole site before it opens? Clubhouse, pools, all the common amenities prior to opening it up for RVs?
Sarah, Sarah, that is a great question, Commissioner Rossi. Do you know if this will be phased or how the construction planning is going?
Yeah. Yeah, currently it is not planned to be phased. It's a one and done, let's build it and get people there.
I remember we asked that question in the DRC meeting, if it was gonna be phased, and it was answered, at that time, they answered on a Zoom call, I believe, that it was just gonna be complete, that it was all gonna be built all
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah, that's still the case from what I've been told.
And so there's no restaurant on site?
There will be at the banquet hall, there will be food available, but only for the guests.
What is that?
It will not be there will not be a commercial kitchen. There will be a prep kitchen.
So, I mean, if they want to sell alcohol outside the store, they want to sell it in the banquet hall, but only during
An event.
an event. Correct?
That is my understanding. Sarah, do you know?
Yeah, he would like to sell it year round at the prep kitchen. It'd kind of be like a snack bar where you can walk up and get some food and get a drink. But yeah, it wouldn't be a full kitchen. It's more of not a restaurant. Just get a snack and get a drink.
What, are we talking vending machines? I mean, what is it?
No, there'd be an employee working at it'd be like a walk-up window snack bar with an employee.
Open 24 hours a day or 7 days a week, there'll be a snack bar?
Yeah, maybe it would be like from 11 to 7 or something like that. Not 24 hours, just during the hours of, because there is a separate fence that encloses the clubhouse. You kind of see it there where there's some gates on the outside and it encloses the gym, the pool. That whole area would have its own time that would close. And then I don't know how if the pool would be open 24/7. I don't think so. I think there would be certain hours that area is open.
So to piggyback on that, I think to get a little bit more detailed, you're not going to have a bartender there, correct? You're going to be selling like beer and spirits and such in bottles and cans, correct? They're not going to be making mixed drinks on site?
I think that yes, for year round, it would be more of a bottle and can type thing. And then the bartending would be per occasion, per events.
Well,
That's the way I understood that.
That's understandable. If you're going to have a banquet there, if you're going to have something, then yeah, you could have a bartender there for that event. I'm just making sure this isn't a walk-up window where you can walk up and get a screwdriver or a Greyhound.
Right, just like a full bar.
Correct.
Yeah, that's not the way I understood it was going to be. It's more of get something in a can. But yeah, I think definitely for events we'd want to make a mixed drink. And he was kind of talking maybe like a seasonal open bar like that, but yeah, I
Need a little more
for the
clarification
most
on
part,
that.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's a can type thing.
Yeah,
I will,
would
if
come
the
when
commissioners
we
are
do that.
comfortable, so that the use permit for alcohol sales will be
Mm-hmm.
before you next month. I can work with the applicant to make sure that we have more of a definitive answer on these and that we have a solid understanding of who, what, where, when, why for next month's use permit.
Yeah, because this is changing it from, just a little vending spot where you get a hot dog and a soda to a seasonally open full bar.
Yeah.
I mean, is it
So-
is it hot food? Is it hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken strips? Or, I mean,
Yes.
what are we talking
Yeah.
in terms
Yeah, I
of
think
a
he
kitchen?
would want like a hamburger type menu.
A clubhouse. Like when you-
If I was staying there, I would hope so.
I'd want
Oh, I
french
would too.
fries.
I would too.
I want my,
Yeah, I mean, if I'm traveling, 150 miles and I'm going to stop here, I want to stop
Yes,
and
I want a
don't
full
wanna
meal.
cook in my RV. I want to go get something.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
You know what I mean? I don't want to go buy a wrapped up sandwich from the store.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, we don't want to open a new bar. On the
No, not at all.
Exactly. Clarification, I think, is needed.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll
the-
work with my with my client on his vision there.
So in the event center, or what'd she say it was, an event center? Or clubhouse?
Banquet
Clubhouse,
hall.
banquet hall.
Banquet hall. So how much parking is there for, say someone wants to have a wedding reception there? What's the occupancy and how many parking spaces are, because now you'll be getting people from off-site who are not camping. You're talking about getting people coming in who say want to have a wedding reception or a class reunion or something, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
I have that
um,
answer, actually.
There's like 56 standard stalls just for parking.
There are 56 standard stalls, and then there'll be 14 spaces specifically right in front of the banquet hall clubhouse.
The appropriate number of ADA stalls?
Yes. And they're van accessible.
Okay. And okay, so is there going to be a full kitchen with the grease trap and all these things, or is that just to be determined at a future date?
Right now, my understanding is it's just a prep kitchen,
What defines a prep kitchen for me, really?
Need a
actually,
grease trap, well, depending, even if you
Do
have
we
a
know what
bakery.
what's the?
Well, you have to have three sinks, you have to have a
fries, you
hand
do.
washing sink, you have to have a sink for your produce. I mean, to me, a prep kitchen is just like a kitchen. You just might not need the hood to be able to, have, but you still need is pretty much the full kitchen with a lot of regulations to it.
That is not something I know the specifics of. The applicant will have to work with environmental health, which is through the county, to make sure that whatever kitchen they do offer is sufficient to meet the food that they intend to sell there. So if that includes a grease trap, that will include a grease trap. If it includes, 3 sinks versus 2 sinks, I don't want to give those answers because that's truly out of my wheelhouse. But
So-
they will work with environmental health.
Okay, so the gated entry. I mean, so the store that's on site, is that going to be owned and operated by the developer, or is it going to be a different?
You mean like if I just
Yeah,
to
is it gonna
clarify, are
be
you
like
asking me if like
7-Eleven
it's
or
a 7-Eleven
Circle K,
going
or is it
in?
going to be owned and operated by the applicant?
Feather River Park. is
Owned and
what it's
operated
called.
by the applicant.
Owned and operated by the applicant. Okay. And it's only going to be selling to people who are residents or staying there?
For
right?
guests.
It's not
Yes,
for someone
yeah.
from outside to come in, go to the store and split?
No. I mean, I don't know if you were to pull, there are like outside spaces, right? So like you're coming to camp, you pull in, you park, you go inside to take care of business. If someone were to just walk in off the street, I imagine they would be able to purchase. Sarah, do you know the answer to that question? I'm speculating at this point.
It's mainly for the guests, but it's also information center. So if someone wanted to pull in, get information about what they do here, they can do that. They could purchase something, but it's not going to be marketed to the community as a new store. So, it's mainly for guests, but, someone could just come in and buy something
People
too,
in the
but it's not going to be marketed that way.
People in the apartments across the street can walk across the street and
Yeah,
get staff. Yeah.
yeah.
That's great.
I mean,
So-
yeah, it's Nelson. I don't know if I'd want to just
So just
This is
to,
gonna make it nicer.
daywalk it, but
just to throw this out there, on sheet 40 of the plans on item 2, it gives the square footages for the banquet hall. For the banquet hall, they're only looking at 1344 on square feet, which is really small.
How many?
1,344, so it's really small. So
Oh.
I think
That's
from the
small.
conversation that we've
Clubhouse,
been
yeah.
having, it's mostly not for outside people having like a wedding venue and all that.
Right.
It's for maybe 5,
1,300 square
6,
feet.
10 people who are coming here, families that are traveling together to go ahead and have a banquet in the banquet hall instead of in all their respective RVs.
Yeah, no, that makes much more
Essentially.
sense.
That's, so yeah,
Yeah.
even the main clubhouse area is only 2,600 square feet.
Yeah.
So it's overall, it's pretty small. I mean, the fitness center and restrooms are 1,900 square feet, so.
Okay. Yeah.
That
And
was,
I'll add
sheet
to that
40.
a little bit. So the interior space was planned to be smaller, and then if you look at like the banquet hall, there's a large covered outdoor area.
Yeah.
So the concept's kind of indoor, outdoor, and then you have that right. Like it's not intended as a wedding venue. Not that you couldn't do one there, but it's not made for a 300-person wedding per se. It's more of a retirement party, RV people getting together, that kind of a thing. But then really utilizing that indoor outdoor space.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I have a question. So has the applicant been in contact with the Park District about the exit going out the back, the emergency exit going out back?
No, we have not been in contact with them about that exit.
Okay, I mean, you probably
The
should.
softball field.
It goes right into parking spaces currently,
Gotcha.
so you'll need to do.
I don't know what page.
I mean, it's a good idea to have that emergency exit, but
Goes right to the softball field.
it's going to require some coordination with the Park District and make sure that's not blocked. I don't think those
Yes,
parking
it needs to
spaces are
be
critical, but
Two schools too, or Parks District and a school.
Is that also an additional fire entrance as well? Is it gated? I'm assuming it
you're
has to be
wondering
gated,
what I'm
right?
asking
Yeah,
about.
it's gated with a keypad, I believe, that they fire with the fire key.
If you're asking wondering what I'm asking about, the exit drops into these parking spaces.
Right here?
Yeah.
And
Oh.
where's this
Sorry, we're-
exit off
it's,
of? This the front?
That goes to
we got it
the,
visible now for you.
oh, to the softball field.
Yeah,
Right?
there's, so this question was asked of us a few days ago. I did reach out to the Feather River Park District, but I haven't heard back yet. It does, Wes and I were looking at an aerial and we couldn't quite figure out if the property line ends within those spots or right before those spots. It's, the layers are a little wonky. But as of yet, we haven't heard back from the Feather River Parks District about using that as an emergency exit.
It'd be cool. You could go to your baseball tournament, camp over here.
Yeah.
That'd be
Super
very
fun.
cool.
Yeah, it would be very fun. They could do a traveling team tournament there.
And that would be the benefit of the banquet hall, because then if
Yes.
you win or whatever,
Yeah,
then you've
go
got a place
celebrate.
to go, exactly.
Yeah, I love
A
it.
safe gated community that you could have some fun in without having to worry.
Right. Okay. Any other questions?
Not mainly for the applicant, but the Moortown Rancheria, what's their involvement in this?
They reached out to us and said that they wanted a consultation. So we responded to them. They sent us a letter. We were unable to get them to reach them. We tried calling, we tried emailing. We sent them a letter. They never actually responded to us after their initial request for consultation. And so we waited 30 days. We gave them 30 days to respond to our last email we sent them. When that was not responded to, we sent them another email and said, we're going to post this with the state. We did, and today is day 29 of the day 30 of that posting period.
What was their, do they have
They
property around
they
there?
never gave us a reason.
The Rancheria does own and operate, or own anyway, the KOA campground.
Sure,
So
Which is,
but
there, we can surmise that
it's not
maybe
within
they're-
300 feet of this project,
No,
right?
it is, no,
So they're not really,
no.
you're not required to
And no
notify
cultural
them.
resources were found on or adjacent to the site.
okay.
Okay.
Do we have any more discussion? Are we ready for a motion? And are we considering also adding in increasing the fence height? Because
I'm
we had
just,
5 conditions.
right, I'm just concerned about the security. You don't have to increase the fence height, obviously, if you have a night watchman out there or something for that north end, or motion-sensitive cameras and lighting and such. I mean, I didn't see anything in the plans that actually called out an electrical drawing for any kind of camera systems or anything like that, that's all.
What type of fence is it? Is it
It's
wood or
steel
is it-
picket, and she said it was a steel picket fence, so it's probably an anti-climb steel picket, but it's only 6 foot tall.
They are, there's an elevation of the fence in the plan submitted as part of your packet. May I borrow this again? If you give me a second, I can find that page.
I mean, I would think of a park this size that you'd want to have, I don't know, a security guy driving around.
Yes.
I mean, I would
On a
think.
golf cart, that's kind of what I envisioned, was there'd be a little golf cart tooling around.
I mean,
It's on page 24.
pardon me?
Page 24 has an elevation of the fence.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, that's what I pictured when you said that. Exactly.
My only thought is a 6-foot fence, if you have a person who's 6 foot tall, they throw a blanket over it and they can literally just pull themselves up and flip themselves right over it. That would be my only concern with a 6.
But
With
they
an
get
8-foot fence, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah, that's a lot of fencing.
Well, and then we also have to consider the amount of cost that adding 2 feet to all that fence is gonna do for the landowner.
Well, I think it'd be, I mean, I'd like to see, security there for many reasons, not just for that, but for many reasons to have a security,
Well, I would
a,
think,
a station. I mean, it's in the entrance is an unmanned gate, unmanned security gate to enter the project.
Sarah, can
Is
you
it
answer
coded
that question?
access? I mean, how do you?
Yeah, you have a key code,
Yeah.
code.
Yep. Key code access on that front gate.
But if somebody types in the code and drives in, there could be somebody right there just to walk, that would be able to walk right in behind the vehicle. I think we're just looking for a little bit more security, that's all.
Well, I mean, how are they, if it's key coded, I guess you get the code when you call up to make your reservation?
Correct. Yeah, it'll either be, I don't think it's decided if it's key code or like a fob that you would get for your stay.
I mean, I would be working under the assumption that the operator is probably more interested in security than anybody because it protects their own business. I mean, they're the ones who would know what's going to be the appropriate level of security. Are we, are we nitpicking here for?
Well, what we don't want is we don't want, police activity over there. Well, right, we don't want a bunch of phone calls, if that's in fact gonna happen, but I just think that the presence of it, of some type of security.
So these are all good questions, and since the alcohol permit's coming before you in January, we'll work with the applicant to address these questions and get a description of the security measures and such to bring back to this council at that time.
And that's our concern, that we just want this to be successful and we want this to remain in our community and not get compromised by any elements that could compromise it.
Yep.
I think that's where we're all coming
Yep.
from here,
Oh,
right?
100%.
Love the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love the project.
Yeah.
Just,
It's nice.
just so that we're being clear with the
Yeah, no, I think it's
folks
great.
online, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good looking.
So are we ready
So
for a
yes,
The
if
motion?
you guys,
renderings are
if you guys
beautiful.
find that acceptable,
for
we
a
won't
motion?
change the fence height. We won't add that condition.
No.
But we,
Just get us
when we
details,
come
yeah.
back next month, we will have more information for you on that. And we can, because it is a use permit, you can also add conditions at that time too.
Well, I'll go ahead and move to adopt the mitigated neg deck, approve the use permit, and adopt the resolution.
Just, sorry, I apologize. Just to clarify, adopt the resolution with the,
Resolution 24 or 2024-15
with the new condition.
with the additional condition. What was the additional
Yeah, I already
condition
forgot
again?
it.
Number 5.
It'll be to prohibit manufactured homes and mobile
There you go.
homes.
Yes,
Good one.
I like that one.
Okay.
We like
I
it.
mean,
Okay.
And the 30-day or 29-day maximum stay at any one time, is that in there?
We do not have that as a condition of approval, no.
do you want to, should we add it? I mean, that's a reasonable,
I think we should. It's an RV, yeah, we don't want people moving in and staying.
If that's already a condition that they're willing to do, I don't see why it would hurt to just make it part of our conditions,
Yeah.
just for future.
Sarah, do you know how the applicant, your client, would feel about adding a 30-day maximum stay?
He'd be fine with that. I think might be part of HCD as well. I'd have to double check, but we did talk about that 30-day being a condition already.
Then what I can do is I will make that project-specific condition number 6.
Six.
Okay.
That the park will have a maximum residential visitor stay of 30 days.
okay. And then adding into the motion, the 30-day stay and the no mobile homes and such.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I will have that amended for next month.
So we have a motion.
I will make the second.
Need a second. Rossi, you need to vote.
Sorry.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it. What's the timeline? I wanted to know, like,
Sarah, do you know when
A
you
timeline, like-
the timeline?
Yeah, so he's ready to go as soon as possible.
awesome.
You
That's
know,
fantastic.
I think there's a little environmental needing to be done in the spring and we can start grading. It sounds like project's approved, so I think
Yes.
he's ready to get started as soon as possible.
Awesome. Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sarah,
guys.
and
Very
thank you,
exciting.
commissioners.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we have no regular business. Do we have any commissioner reports? Or historical advisory reports? If I was in Chico, I would be crying about the Bidwell Mansion.
Yes, indeed, that is a
Already am
tragedy.
That's pretty
crying.
sad, huh?
I'm depressed.
That is a tragedy.
But,
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
well, they're looking for suspects. It's pointed arson.
Yeah.
There's a story there, we don't know, but that is not in Oroville. But it just does remind you of the preciousness of our buildings and how thankful I am for the ones that are standing. Okay, anyone have any report? Staff?
Yes, we have about 4 or 5 items to cover really quickly.
Okay,
On Tuesday night at the city council meeting, the council and the community feted Bill LaGrone on his retirement after 22 years with the city in various capacities. It was on today's front page in the newspaper, and as expected, there was lots of humor involved in that.
So he retires, is that what you said?
Retired, yeah.
They also approved the submittal of a CDBG grant application to do engineering for sidewalks, lighting, drainage, parking, et cetera, in South Side, south of Wyandotte, where there's 54 blocks about that lack sidewalks and curb gutter, et cetera. The main goal there is to fix the drainage because there's puddling and pooling and all of that. So we have, actually, that application went in today, so.
awesome.
For $200,000. As you know, Chrissy Riggs is leaving the council in January, and Chuck Reynolds, our former mayor, will be taking that spot. The city is also promoting the housing rehab, local housing, the local, an LHMP grant has funded this, especially in South Side. So homeowners, and there's, I don't think there's flyers over there anymore. There's some in the trash can. Homeowners that want, new roofs, et cetera, can borrow up to $75,000 with very good rates. I understand there's no payments until they sell their home.
Oh,
This is in Southside?
It's citywide,
Wow.
but we're focusing in South Side because that's where most of our blighted
So it's
structures
a
are.
remodel grant? Is that what it is? like a silent second? Only due and payable upon sale, or does it sunset after like 20 years or something?
Due and payable upon sale. And there are income requirements, maximum income requirements as well. Pat drafted the rules and such, so if you have any more detailed questions on that,
It's
you
up
can
to
ask him.
75,000?
Yes. The owner has to be there, own and live in the house,
Okay.
or mobile home,
Major
manufactured home, it's
limitation,
eligible.
actually.
Occupied.
We will email you the flyer for that. Because it's a good deal. It is much more flexible than the ones that HCD and CDBG require. Because it's a different state grant funding source. So we've written it to be as liberal as we possibly can to help as many folks as we possibly can.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And so where can we get the flyers for that?
There's actually somebody threw a bunch of them away in that trash can over there, so we might be able to dig some out. But
some
we'll
out.
certainly
Yesterday.
email them to you as well.
How is the, how are the funds dispersed? Is there a way to make sure that, it's not, the system's not abused? Construction bids are done,
is what,
properly, licensed contractors and,
Correct.
What Amy's program does regularly, they've been doing this for years, so they have, somebody goes out, assesses the property, somebody goes out, assesses the property, determines what needs to be done, and then someone writes a scope, that person writes a scope of work, and then contractors bid on that. And then once the job is, once it's awarded, there's a contract with the contractor, and then the contractor does the work. They don't get any payments until work is completed. So they get payments, like say that they're doing painting the outside of the house. They'll get paid when the paint job's done.
okay, and the bids are vetted and they're made sure that, they're not having
Right.
their Uncle Harry do it for
No, we have
$30,000
a-
overpriced, right?
Yeah, Trover Project Management Team, they do the inspections, they write the scope of work, they manage the contract, they ensure that the work was completed per the scope of work, and then once everything is ready, they vet the invoice before it's turned into the city.
What's the limit on the grant? How many people do you think we could be able to help?
Well, what we're actually shooting for is facades only for this one. So as Wes said, this program is really liberal. The most programs that are government funded are they're pretty restrictive. Like the whole house has to meet HQS requirement or standards, and that's really difficult to do in certain areas, certain houses in this town. So what we're doing is, or the way that I wrote the guidelines is we'll look for doing facades because we want to freshen up the neighborhood, and then they will go around and look at the property. So if there are exposed wires or just something that seems grievous that really should not be left undone, we'll address those also.
And how do homeowners know about this? I saw it somewhere, but I don't know where. Like, is this?
Amy advertises it regularly.
I must have seen it on something because I was thinking this could help a lot of people.
Well, yeah, it does. There's they are income based.
But it's 120%. It's not like
What is the
60%.
120%. Yeah.
Median
What is
income.
the median income in Orville? Do we know?
I should.
Well,
'cause
they have
I
the income
wrote
here.
guidelines, but I
No.
don't remember. Is
But
it
I
on
mean-
there? Yeah.
For one person, 81,000, and you qualify?
Because it's 120%.
It's 120%.
I know, but that's a lot.
It's good.
That's
I mean-
a lot of income to qualify. I mean,
It costs a lot of money to live.
I know,
One of the things
Yeah.
that is more flexible.
Yes, it's
seriously
nice.
more flexible.
Someone
Yes.
who is
there are
actually
other-
working but
God,
doesn't
I could get one of these.
Their other programs are,
No, because look at this requirement.
What?
You can only own one property.
nice try.
Property
Yeah.
owner must not own other properties.
Yeah. I mean, it really is meant for homeowners,
As long as
families
it's
in.
tested and it's not abused.
No, I think it
Okay,
seems
that's the
awesome.
big thing.
Amen.
Well, and the other programs that she still has some money for the other programs, but I think her funds are running low. And those only go up to 80%. So yeah, this
Right.
is,
No, this is like for.
It'd be nice to have, to be able to get grants to help more first-time home buyers and raise
she has her first-time homebuyer program too.
that amount up though to like 400,000 instead of the,
Well, that is restricted. We don't set those guidelines. Those are set by the state where we get the money from. And those are, it's a tough one because
Yeah.
you don't want to help people that, it's a clear donut hole of being able to afford the payment and having the income to be able to afford the payment and then not having the,
bidding the maximum amount that you can earn.
and buying a house that meets Section 8 standards because or housing quality standards.
Yeah.
So that program does require housing quality standards. So it's tough. I've run first-time homebuyer programs before. It's really tough. You go through a lot of applicants to get to the one that can actually find a house and meets that donut hole, and the house works also.
Yeah.
You know, the latest study that I saw on as far as income versus debt, to live the American dream as it was in the mid-'80s, to have 2 car payments, the home, and put kids through school and all that, the median income of your house has to be $174,000. Which is just crazy when you think about right now what the actual median household income is for our town.
Right.
In order to live the American dream, it's just out of the reach for so many people.
60% of Californians rent instead of buy.
Yeah.
It's the worst state in the nation in terms of home ownership
Yeah.
numbers.
And how many units are we shy every year in the state? 80,000?
On a rolling basis, sure. I mean, I think there's something like 1 million homes or something that are
I think
needed.
it's more than 80,000.
Yeah.
No, I mean that we're behind
Yeah.
on. So we need to build 80,000 more.
The cumulative
Annually.
number
Every
that
year.
we're behind
Yeah,
is well
right.
over 1 million.
Yeah.
Well over a
Oh,
million.
yes, it is. I build subdivisions, trust me, they sell as fast as they're built.
Yeah.
So, moving on, applications, the tentative map for Gold Creek Commons that this planning commission approved in October. They are still working with PCP on trying to determine language that's acceptable to everyone that notifies future owners and tenants that there is seasonal construction activity going on next door. So that is still a work in progress.
On that, are we feeling positive about the way those talks are going?
We're still holding our breath. How's that? Is that a good answer?
Oh, it's good enough, it's understandable.
Staff continues to work with owners in our industrial zones to recruit new biomass, solar, and other users. Many of them are considering reusing the copper site, which, as you know, is a former Superfund site that is deemed cleaned. The only restriction there is that you cannot dig deeper than 5 feet without a clearance, specific clearance from EPA and Department of Toxic Substances Control. We're also optimistic that the old Poppy plant, the cogen plant next to Sierra Pacific, can again be reused for one or more various purposes. Verdon, our marketing consultant, has recently given us a draft communications strategy so we can start promoting community pride, tourism, and, quote, economic development. The economic development plan is broken out with targeting developers, both housing and industrial developers, entrepreneurs, and retailers. So those will be the targets there. The messaging will focus on Oroville's cost effectiveness, the community's supportiveness for business, and our abundant land and opportunity. So along those lines, Pat and I are going to schedule a meeting with the Oroville Economic Alliance, which is a subset of the Chamber probably in February, to get all the folks that used to be involved in the old Orville Economic Development Corporation and our manufacturers and our large business owners and managers and such, so that they can help us recruit. So that's one of the items that we'd like to start. The BAM project at 2255 Bird Street, which this body gave a use permit for a motel for, continues its upgrades. And they poured sidewalks, the new sidewalks this week on both Bird and Oliver. And then Pat has started to talk to ODBA, the Downtown Business Association, about potential programs to fill vacant buildings in the downtown, including perhaps recruiting. I've seen in the past in other communities, I've seen the Downtown Association create a subcommittee to play Monopoly. And, you know, we need an ice cream parlor here, we need a
That's what we
hamburger
want to
thing
do.
here.
We have to stop organizing Christmas decorations.
Okay.
We have to get our priorities right.
And then there's a question of,
Yes.
the vacant building program, which will help owners keep their properties up to snuff while they are vacant, and to actively recruit. So these are some of the thoughts that will be developed. So that's the staff report, unless Pat or Christina or Kayla have anything to add.
I just wanted to add that I have nothing to add, but that you were very thorough.
Awesome. And I think you all know about the new owners on Myers, 1359 Myers, right next to the senior center, this building. Yeah, the Garcias, but it's kind of exactly what we're looking for. They bought, you know, with 2 retail spaces down below where you were, with 4 apartments up on top. They've continued to remodel, upgrade.
What is
It
it
just
now?
looks beautiful. Well, they've got the 2 retail spaces. So where you were now is an antique store, Sunny, who's been around here for a long time. It's very nice in there.
Another antique store.
You're not an antiquer.
No, we just.
They're both going to be used, and then they've got, I know, a few renters upstairs. So anyway, it's just wonderful. It's just coming in and taking a building. And then they're saving that Burton shoe store sign, that ghost sign, and they're going to restore that, so it's wonderful.
Nice.
So I think are we done? We're adjourning? Less than an hour. That's awesome.